Famous.
Kermit is a national icon.
And famously in love.
He is my prince.
Kermit and Miss Piggy in a most wanted movie.
Sequa!
The stars, all smiles in public.
A mistake, man.
On
Kermit
set,
the Frog.
Another story.
But you're right, Kermit.
Piggy was very jealous of how close Kermit and Tina Fey became.
If you come near my frog, you are toast.
Tonight, exclusive new revelations on a storybook romance.
He's still hot.
I guess
He is.
you're embarrassing me.
CNN Spotlight, The Muppets. Hollywood's most famous couple. Sorry, Brangelina. Muppet sweethearts claim the crown.
We're not just one of the A-list couples in Hollywood. We are the
Oh, well, we're really big in the swamp.
couple.
Kermit and Miss Piggy are coupled again in Muppets Most Wanted.
Excusez-moi, Kermit, do you have a moment?
Their romance, legendary.
You make me happy.
But their past, a mystery. Until we did some digging. For Kermit, the story begins in the swamp, as this recently discovered footage reveals. He's the eldest of several thousand siblings.
Dinner, guys!
There's Angie and Artie and Aloysius.
Brett McKenzie gets close to Kermit while writing music for the Frog's most recent movies.
Just a tip, if you do end up working with Kermit, don't ask him about his brothers or sisters.
Eugene and Edward and Elaine and Mortimer and Mary and Millicent.
He started reciting every single name, and it took 6 or 7 hours.
Yolanda and Yo-Yo and Yaya and Yee-Yee.
Meanwhile, in a sty several states to the north, a young Sal squeals her first tune.
No matter what life may bring.
Poor Miss Piggy was born on a farm in Iowa. Seemed to be a nice, normal enough childhood.
Until
Her father died tragically in a tractor accident, and I think that was the beginning of her daddy issues.
there are mommy issues too.
My mother? I don't talk to my mother.
Piggy never got along with her mother. She never appreciated the glamour and the fabulousness.
She quit Iowa about as fast as her stubby legs could take her.
It was rock bottom for her. I think times were very tough.
So tough, she resorts at one point to posing for a bacon ad.
For a bacon
I'd
product?
rather not talk about that.
Hello?
All the while, Kermit keeps his reputation wart-free,
$500.
with any messes handled by high-powered attorneys.
There must be some mistake. I'm Kermit the Frog.
I represented Kermit back in the 90s on a rather sensitive legal matter.
You're going to be here a while.
I can't get into the specifics because of attorney-client privilege, but let's just say we made it go away.
The Rainbow Connection.
Musical talent becomes Kermit's ticket out of the swamp.
I'm supposed to be.
You've got talent, kid. Singing, telling jokes.
A chance meeting with an agent puts him on the road to Hollywood.
We picked up a weirdo.
He acquires new friends along the way.
Here she is, folks.
Then, stopping by chance at a county fair, a life-changing moment. Miss Piggy and Kermit find their own rainbow connection.
This love was bound for heaven, not for earth.
What was it like when you first laid eyes on each other?
Well, for me, it was... Hubba, hubba, who's that hot frog?
I guess I looked at her and said, well, what do you know, a singing pig. You don't see that every day.
From the start, the relationship is volcanic, with regular eruptions. Stolen kisses with Lady Gaga and Ellen push Piggy's buttons. Piggy, are you the jealous type?
Ooh. I'm not the jealous type. I'm just plain jealous. Yeah.
I'm not
Ladies,
going to...
if you come near my frog, you are toast.
But you're right, Kermit.
Tina Fey ignores that warning, working intimately with Kermit on Muppets Most Wanted. Muppet insider Brett McKenzie sees it all go down.
Hit it, boys.
They were laughing and just having a good time.
Put the frog down.
Miss Piggy saw them and was just suddenly just furious. She came flying over and karate chopped Tina Fey. Hi-ya!
Make yourself comfortable.
Fey is quick to deny any romantic intentions.
Oh, that's just my friend. Kermit's my friend.
And Miss Piggy laughs it off.
Oh, I was jealous of her. That's rich. He loves me. He loves me not.
Miss Piggy turns her relationship with Kermit and the Muppets into a fortune.
Why be you when you could be moi?
Fortune and fame transform them into a power couple, rivaling Kimye or Fillory. They only lack the mashup name. Maybe Permit or Kiggy?
How about Kermis the Pog? Kermis the Pog. Yeah, I really do like that, actually. We don't want to mess that up.
But for Kermis, dating a Pog isn't readily accepted.
I am an amphibian American. I am proud of it.
Oh, Kermit.
He leverages his celebrity, eliciting support from the highest office in the land.
I am taking a certain issue to discuss with the president if I can. That's interspecies dating.
Really? The whole subject of interspecies dating was very sensitive back then.
We've actually had the longest interspecies celebrity relationship in Hollywood, even including all the people who went out with Charlie Sheen.
Do you, Froggy?
A relationship is one thing, but marriage is another.
I do.
Miss Piggy claims their vows in the Muppet movie are legit, but Kermit insists it was only pretend. Ever optimistic, Miss Piggy denies her boyfriend's got cold, webbed feet.
It's mutual, isn't it?
Of course.
Yes.
Is he really gonna marry you?
There will be a wedding.
Get the card. Get the
I
card.
feel you, girl,
There will.
Yes, there will.
Whether we'll ever see a valid Muppet marriage remains achingly unclear.
They are the greatest will they, won't they of all time.
So what do you think? Will they or won't they?
I don't know. I want to live in this romantic tension with them for the rest of our lives.
Never before and never again.
Coming up, the man behind the Muppets. Do you feel like you owe your careers to Jim Henson?
I really don't know who this Jim person is.
They may deny it, but we get to the bottom of the man who spun felt into gold. Do you feel like you owe your careers to Jim Henson?
Well, you know, I do have to. Jim Henson, maybe you've heard of him? No?
I don't think so.
Well,
Who is he?
well, he's the guy who taught me how to make movies.
Before the Muppets find fame and the spotlight, there's a boy with a dream of entertaining people through television. That boy? Jim Henson.
I really don't know who this Jim person is, but
He was kind of a hippie with a beard. I'll show you a picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
As a college freshman at the University of Maryland, Henson creates a puppet show for a local NBC station as a way into the TV business.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington.
Sam and Friends.
Sam and Friends is a surprise success for Henson, according to his biographer.
He wasn't convinced this was something a grown man should be doing for a living. But it just turned out he was so good at it, and as he said, it was probably because he didn't know what the rules were. So he could kind of make things up as he went along.
Ladies and gentlemen.
More flexible materials create more expressive characters, Henson discovers, while also experimenting with camera framing that keeps him out of sight.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm taking a course in visual thinking.
He calls his characters Muppets and creates a prototype for what would become his biggest star.
Kermit was initially Kermit the Thing. He was built for the Sam and Friends TV show. He was not a frog. He was not green. He was built from Jim's mother's coat. He's still sort of this milky, sort of milk of magnesia blue, and his eyes really are a ping pong ball cut in half.
Within a few years, he hires fellow puppeteer Frank Oz, and their work starts getting national attention on programs like The Jimmy Dean Show. In 1969, Henson's Muppets Incorporated teams up with the Children's Television Workshop to create a series of characters for a new educational program. Sesame Street is an instant hit with a capital H, and Henson's creations become the beloved icons of an entire generation of young people.
I'm the original Sesame Street, old school generation.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks.
He really wanted TV to be relevant, to matter, so he always loved the idea behind Sesame Street.
Henson's pleased to see the response children have to Sesame Street, but he's got a bigger dream: entertaining audiences of all ages.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the light.
The Muppet Show launches in 1976.
I have a memory of the opening sequence. You know, the huge, big opening number.
Kermit acts as host of the weekly variety show, which airs in the evening nationally.
The Swedish Chef is on next.
Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Ralph the Dog, and Beaker become breakout sketch players, while two grumpy old guys comment on it all from the balcony.
Just as I thought. What's that? After this show, nothing hurts.
Statler and Waldorf. I don't remember what it was that they said, but they made my dad laugh. You know, that's one of the weird things that Muppets seems to do, which is bring parents and kids together because parents genuinely find it funny.
With subversive humor geared to both parents and kids, each episode also features a celebrity guest. Among the most memorable, Bob Hope, Elton John, and Steve Martin.
The reason is they wanted to play in a different format. All of these celebrities were, doing the Tonight Show and making the rounds and doing different interviews, and this was their time to tap a whole new audience and to have a little bit of fun.
Everybody on to Hollywood!
3 years after The Muppet Show premieres, they make the jump to the big screen in 1979's The Muppet Movie. It features a chart-topping song.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
2 more films soon follow. The Great Muppet Caper.
There'll be crooks and cops, there'll be villainy, but with us on call we'll fix it all real easily.
And The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Here we go, let's start the show.
Like The Muppet Show, the movies feature a who's who of Hollywood.
Watching back, if you watch the Muppet movie, I'm like, oh my God, he was in it, she was in it, this is insane. So many people came to play, again, because the Muppets were fun.
Isn't this exciting?
Fun Henson style is in demand on screen and off. He consults with George Lucas on The Empire Strikes Back and suggests Frank Oz as the puppeteer and voice of Yoda.
Feel the force around you.
Henson himself branches out with darker fantasy films. And the lighter HBO series, Fraggle Rock. Henson has built an empire, but the day comes when he decides it might be time to sell. He starts talking with Disney.
Mainly to put the Muppets there where somebody who knew how to manage icons could take care of them, while he went off to go be Jim Henson and do other things.
Henson and Disney announced a tentative deal in August of 1989.
It's great fun for us to just be thinking about it right now.
But the celebration proves premature. Negotiations over the sale drag on for months.
They were very close to signing it.
Please welcome Jim Henson.
Then in May of 1990, Henson comes down with what he believes is just a cold. On an appearance on the Arsenio Hall show, his scratchy throat is noticeable.
Thank you. Thanks for saying so.
We'll take a commercial. What's something in your throat?
His illness is much more serious than he realizes. He's in the early stage of pneumonia, brought on by a rare and fast-spreading bacterial infection. Just 12 days later, surrounded by family in a New York hospital, Jim Henson dies. He's only 53. His children inherit the responsibility of managing the Muppets. The Jim Henson Company continues making movies, including 1999's Muppets from Space.
People of Earth, do not be alarmed.
But rocketing production costs proved challenging. In 2004, Henson's heirs finally seal a deal with Disney, and the Muppets move to a new home for the millennium.
I think what he was hoping was people could go on and do new things with them, that he didn't have to be there to sort of, stage manage it. Letting the next generation pick up that torch and move it on and advance it. I think he'd be delighted with that.
In 3,
coming up.
I'm gonna shoot straight. You guys aren't famous anymore.
Yeesh. I wish she'd shot a little more curvy.
The Muppets get a makeover.
Let's just start at the bottom and work our way back up to the top.
And make a major comeback.
You're hot. You're having a moment.
I don't want this moment to end.
Animals! Look what I found!
In 2011, the Muppets mount a comeback.
It feels wonderful to have another movie on the big screen. Yes. It's been a while since Piggy and I have been on the big screen. Would you look at that?
Disney's now in charge, and it taps Muppet fanboy Jason Segel to reboot the franchise.
I've got everything that I need. This was on the list of dreams for sure. I never really thought that I'd be able to accomplish this. I thought maybe I would get a chance to do a cameo in a Muppets movie, but somehow that it ended up that I wrote it and helped get it made. That meant a lot to me.
Once again, stars line up to take part. Segel's reboot does the trick. The Muppets are back. In commercials.
They were singing vegetables and chickens.
Yeah, happens to me all the time.
It was one of the highlights of my whole life. Kermit is a national icon. There's Mickey Mouse, there's Santa Claus, and there's Kermit the Frog.
Welcomed on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Take a load off Danny. Take a load for free.
And the surest sign the Muppets are back, they land a sequel.
They're back with another movie, and it's something now that kids are excited about all over again. And again, parents aren't complaining about having to go see it. It's kind of nice.
In the sequel, Muppets Most Wanted, the villainous Constantine uses his uncanny resemblance to Kermit to pull off a heist.
It's strange. I mean, I should ask Constantine, but I really don't see the resemblance at all.
Well, you know what? I don't see resemblance either. I think I look nothing like you.
I agree. I agree.
No.
Yeah.
You're a lot less handsome.
Flawlessly.
Ricky Gervais plays Constantine's evil accomplice.
Ensuring that my name goes down in history as greatest thief of all time.
You mean our names, right?
Of course. My name first, then spacebar, your name.
You're going to be here.
Then there's Tina Fey as a Russian prison guard.
Lights out. Turn them back on. I can't see anything.
What is it about the Muppet comedy that just works?
Well, I think because it's real comedy. I grew up watching The Muppet Show, and I realize now, that's the first sketch comedy variety show I ever saw. I was too little to see SNL. And they do real jokes. The characters are really clearly defined. They also do physical gags and running gags. They do real jokes.
It's that Muppet humor that drew Ty Burrell to the project as well.
Anything goes on a Muppet set, so you basically go to work knowing you're going to laugh all day.
But there is one problem working with Muppets: staying focused.
Did you find it more challenging to work with a Muppet than you thought, a Muppet co-star?
Yeah, I mean, it was distracting at first. I think they probably found it more challenging to work with me because I was so distracted I was so in awe of what they were doing. My jaw open and the director having to tell me to just look at the Muppet, just try to focus on the Muppet.
It seems everyone in Hollywood has their favorite.
I think Animal is
one of the best characters ever made.
Miss Piggy is everything. Like, I love her.
Give me Kermit, man.
I love Swedish Chef. I just think he's absolutely insane.
I love Gonzo. I've always been a big Gonzo fan.
Sam Eagle.
Oh.
We bonded pretty heavily.
Partners.
We share the same Paleolithic eyebrow.
Excusez-moi.
As usual, though, Miss Piggy plays the role of scene stealer.
And perhaps I was a little too eager about our wedding.
And I'd love to do that too.
But when all is said and done, Muppets Most Wanted is a Kermit vehicle.
You know, Kermit, Hollywood has surprisingly not produced many amphibian stars. Maybe Aquaman.
Yeah. I'm always surprised by that myself.
So, then that didn't deter you, though. So what was it inside you that said, I can do this, I can make it in this business?
Well, you know, it's odd. You have to dream big, and I was just your average banjo-playing, talking frog in show business. Wanted to entertain people, but actually, frankly,
you are selling yourself short.
Well, really and truly, in the early days, it sort of came down to a couple of choices. I could either work at a biology lab or show business, and show biz seemed safer.
The showbiz veteran from the Louisiana swamp now has 8 movies under his cowl. And if this newest Muppet adventure clicks, Kermit and the cast will be back for more.
Come on, everybody, strike up the band. We're doing a sequel. That's what we do in Hollywood. And everybody knows that the sequel's never quite as good.